this might actually be happening. As you may or may not have already heard, Xbox Live, Game Pass, and actual Microsoft published games perhaps along the lines of Halo, Forza, and Gears, and maybe even Rare Replay could be coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, full-on disclaimer, this is a rumor, technically speaking. So take it with a grain of salt until it actually happens. Maybe it might be best to take the approach, I'll believe it when I see it. But this is being corroborated by several different publications. This is seeming to be very legit. I'll put a few sources in the description below, but this might actually be happening, especially since we're now on the heels of that news that there's going to be some sort of Xbox Live announcement coming at the Game Developer Conference. We saw Xbox Live listed for Nintendo Switch on the schedule for the Game Developer Conference, which is happening this March. They took that down because it was probably raising a whole bunch of hullabaloo, but this seems to be actually happening, guys, and I don't know what's really happening. I'm not sure what timeline we are in, but I think it might be a really good one. So what does this all mean? Now, first I'm going to go over the more obvious things, and then I'm going to get into some of my crazy speculation, because I have some ideas that, well, to be frank with you, they might be a little crazy, but a year ago, they were way more crazy. A lot more seems possible now. Now, when we first got the news of Xbox Live coming to the Switch, I didn't necessarily think of it as too much of a big deal. I could see maybe that service being available for certain third-party games and maybe some Microsoft-published games like Minecraft being available on the system to offer messaging and communication features for those games. It wouldn't get in the way of Nintendo Online. I think that's still going to be the case. But from these rumors, we're hearing that we're actually going to get an app, we're actually going to be getting Game Pass, and it's going to have over 100 games, and even apparently games like Ori and Cuphead could be coming to the Nintendo Switch as well. These are actually Microsoft published games on the Switch. So that changes the narrative a little bit. There's going to be a lot of games out there that are probably going to be taking advantage of Xbox Live. And then when it comes to Game Pass, well, that's kind of extraordinary in and of itself. It's already going to have over 100 games apparently, and that's a lot. I don't think the library is going to be one-to-one like it is on Xbox One, but there's still going to be a lot of games on there that are currently not available on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the thing about the Switch, it's actually kind of like way weaker than the Xbox One, so I imagine they would have to stream all of these games. There's no way they could pare down every game and code it. That's a whole development process for each and every game. There's just no way. That's an extraordinary feat that would take years to accomplish. That's not going to happen in the nearby future, but streaming is definitely possible. Now, when it comes to streaming, though, there's a couple of stipulations here. One, because it's a streaming service, then you probably wouldn't be able to play it on the go in a car unless you have some sort of special Wi-Fi card or something along those lines. This is going to be a service that's going to be mostly useful just at home with your Switch. Of course, you can still use your Switch wherever you are in the house as long as you have a good Wi-Fi connection. That'll probably be fine. But then I have to wonder, is Wi-Fi good enough? Are we going to need some sort of Ethernet connection to make it work? And the other thing is, a lot of people are just going to say, oh, I'll just use my LAN adapter. That would work if you have bad Wi-Fi, but if you have good Wi-Fi, it doesn't really matter. The current LAN adapter on the Switch apparently is kind of a bottleneck, and you can't really get those big speed boosts from your traditional Ethernet cable. Maybe the Wi-Fi speeds that the Switch already have are good enough if you have a good Wi-Fi connection, so maybe that's it, maybe that's all you need. I don't know. I've never really done cloud gaming on the Switch aside from that Resident Evil thing that's based off Japanese servers that was going to run terribly anyway. So I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work out, but I imagine if Microsoft is doing it, I know they want to really push their cloud services moving forward, so it's probably going to run a lot better, and of course, if it's meant locally, it probably will also run exponentially better just for that fact alone. So I do think it's possible. I mean, they wouldn't be doing otherwise if they didn't think they could make it work, so it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out. But now let's talk about some of the rumored games. Apparently we're getting Cuphead and Ori, that's cool. But even games like Halo, Forza, and Gears could be coming to the system apparently. I mean like actual native games for the system, which means you can play it anywhere. That's gonna be crazy to actually get Halo games on the system. Now, there was a time when Nintendo and Microsoft were working to get Halo DS happening apparently according to IGN. It didn't materialize, but they were at least working on it. And then, of course, for the Nintendo DS, we did get Diddy Kong Racing. Microsoft did allow Rare to develop that game for the system. So it's not like Microsoft and Nintendo haven't worked on games together in the past. And of course, you know, before all this news about Xbox Live and stuff, the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft has seemed really strong. Of course, they have all the cross-play and that Minecraft commercial with Nintendo and Microsoft. And then there's all the rumors about Smash and Banjo and Steve and all of that. So it all seems pretty extraordinary. And the idea of getting Halo and Forza is crazy, but what excites me even more, there is talk of Rare coming to the system. Some are suggesting Rare Replay. If we get Rare Replay, that would mean we could get games like Banjo and Conquer and Jet Force Gemini and Killer Instinct back on the system. If that happens, that'll be a magical moment. It's been something I've been dreaming about for years, and it might actually be happening, and that's incredible. Sure, Rare is a shell of its former self now, but to get all the classic games that they made that were actually really good, that is amazing. But what about future games? What does this all mean for the future? Like, sure, all these known games are really good, it's an amazing thing, but what about other rumored games like Scalebound or Smash DLC? Could this also be happening? So I want to talk a little bit about the Scalebound thing. I haven't really talked too much about that besides the podcast. With Scalebound, that's a rumor, right? Some sources that are pretty reputable have been bringing it up as a possibility, but then others are suggesting it seems really unlikely, but no one's straight out deconfirming it. It's a weird situation because there was a trademark that Microsoft had the rights to, and now it's no longer there for Scalebound. We're not entirely sure what's going on there, and people just kind of doubt the possibility that Nintendo would take this up all for themselves. This is just speculation. Take it with a grain of salt, but what if Nintendo and Microsoft are working together on Scalebound? What if this is a joint effort between Platinum Games and Microsoft and Nintendo? That would kind of make everyone happy, wouldn't it? Except for Sony fans, but you know, whatever. The point is, I think it's at least possible. Before the news of Xbox games coming to Nintendo Switch, it seemed kind of crazy, but now, that sort of thinking, I think is possible. So now let's talk about Smash DLC. There have been two characters that have come up repeatedly in rumors. Minecraft Steve and Banjo and Kazooie. I'm now thinking, then maybe, well, for sure, definitely at least one of them, but maybe even both. Some people are starting to talk about that now, and you know what? It might happen. If you look at the other third-party characters that are in the game, most of the companies have at least 2 reps. Square Enix is supposedly going to be getting Airdrop as well, so then, you know, it seems like it might actually happen. Like, this doesn't seem too crazy anymore, and there's a lot of mounting evidence for both characters. They both seem fairly likely, and this relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft has been growing and booming, and quite frankly, it's unprecedented. We never expected this to happen, but it's happening, and I think Banjo and Steve could both happen, maybe. I'm expecting at least one at this point, to be honest with you. I'm rooting for Banjo because that's what I care mostly about, but Steve would also be really cool. I know that would make a lot of people happy, and I no longer think it's impossible. So there's one more thing I want to talk about, and this might be the craziest thing yet. And it's pure speculation, but I've been speculating about this for a while, or rather I've been dreaming about it. I haven't really been thinking it would be possible. About a year or two ago, I mean, I've mentioned it a couple times in the podcast, that it would be really cool if Nintendo and Microsoft were to work together to get Banjo 3 to happen. And that's crazy. That's bonkers. It probably won't happen. This is just me dreaming and wishing. At least that's what it was a year ago. But now, while I don't think it's likely, I think it's possible. And that alone is incredibly exciting to me. On top of the prospects of Smash DLC and the implications for this maybe Scalebound game that may or may not be happening. But then of course there's Xbox Live and Game Pass and Rare Replay and Halo and Forza and Gears. Like this is the stuff of dreams. This is a crazy timeline and we're living in it, and this is pretty darn cool.
But my opportunity is coming with Smash on 3DS. Because now I'm going to play it on the go. I'm going to be able to come back up next time and kick your ass.
Now, before I go, I want to talk briefly about Reggie retiring. I talked about it a little bit on Twitter, but I know not all of you follow me on Twitter. Basically, I'm sad but happy to see Reggie go. He's leaving on good terms. He's retiring. He's not getting fired or laid off. He did an incredible job at Nintendo. I've been watching Reggie since the very beginning, since that E3 back, what was it, 2004, I think? Or that's at least when I started really paying attention, when they introduced the Nintendo DS and they had Metroid Prime 2 Echoes and that epic reveal for Twilight Princess. At the time, we didn't know the name, but that was an incredible time. And Reggie said some pretty epic things. It was all super cool. Reggie's been the king of Nintendo memes. My body is Reggie, my body is ready. He's a cool guy, and I'm glad that at the young age of 57, he probably has bucket loads of money, and he seems to be healthy, and he's going to be able to ride off into the sunset and live a really good life after a very successful career. So I'm happy for him. It's a bit somber. It is a sign of the changing times, the changing eras, but the future's a great thing. Doug Bowser is now going to be the president of Nintendo of America. His name is obviously very fitting, and this is a good time, guys. I mean, this video is about Xbox being on Nintendo. Come on. This is a good time. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm going to miss Reggie, but I'm at least happy that he's going out on a very high note. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for listening and watching. This is AndresRestart. If you're new here and you love Nintendo content, make sure to subscribe. Leaving a like would also be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you all really soon. Bye.